The War on Free Speech in Our Region, number 202. Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press, and that cannot be limited without being lost. Thomas Jefferson. On the Monaro, there is a disturbing rot that is coming to light. Bit by bit, case by case, our community is witnessing a troubling erosion of something vital: freedom of speech. At first glance, it might seem like an abstract ideal, something meant for courtrooms or university debates. But here in the Snowy Monaro region, the consequences of suppressing public discourse are very real and very close to home. Whether it's through silence, censorship, legal intimidation, or outright banning, the message is clear. Don't ask questions, don't speak out, don't challenge the narrative. Let's unpack why this is not only unacceptable, but dangerous. 1. Freedom of speech, the cornerstone of democracy. Freedom of speech isn't just a nice-to-have, it's the foundational right from which all others flow. It's the mechanism by which we test ideas, hold power to account, and ensure that government serves the people, not the other way around. When community members are discouraged, mocked, or even punished for asking questions or presenting alternative views, democracy begins to rot from the inside. As Jefferson warned, once the press, and by extension the people, are silenced, liberty itself is at risk.
And just one other question, because I think you said something like, I got a letter from the council to appear.
Yes.
That if you didn't appear, you get a $2 million.
That's what the legal letter said.
This
yes.
is extraordinary. So you became the target rather than the person that was helped.
Well, that's the way I felt. Yes, councillor.
No, this is an outrage. Thank you, Mr. Bedra.
Thank you.
2. The confidence argument. My Little Pony politics. Some local councillors and aligned media figures argue that criticism is unhelpful because it undermines public confidence in the council. Their logic? If everyone just thinks positive and claps louder, everything will get better. As one councillor, Narelle Davis, said, community confidence comes down to us having confidence in the council and actually expressing that well and having a positive outlook.
And the community confidence comes down to us having confidence in the council and actually expressing that well and having a positive outlook and actually presenting council work.
This is magical thinking. It's a My Little Pony episode, substituting wishful vibes for accountability. Just saying things are good doesn't make them so. Ignoring problems doesn't fix them. It only gaslights the community into silence. 3. The reality check. Community satisfaction at 3%. Take the latest community survey. Only 3% of residents rated the Snowy Monaro Regional Council's performance as highly satisfactory. That's not just bad, it's shockingly bad. It would take deliberate effort to alienate the vast majority of your customer base, yet here we are. The top complaints? The same ones for years. Roads, rubbish, rates, customer service. Instead of addressing those directly, council leadership seems more focused on controlling the narrative than fixing the problems. 4. Fighting for the obvious. What happens when councillors like Ruben Rose, Luke Williamson, or Andrew Thaler suggest doing the obvious? Fix the roads, lower the rates, stop the waste? They're told they're being negative. But you don't fix a pothole by pretending it's a rainbow. In Councillor Rose's words, we stuffed this up. That admission of fault, that call for action, is what real leadership sounds like. The refusal to engage with it, that's fear.
Mr. Mayor, just let me tell you my intention here. The issue is this has got too complex, and as Councillor Riddle said, there's nothing immediate happening. I'm waiting to call in the EPA and safe work. I'm going to get new staff. The best way of predicting future behaviour is past behaviour. Nothing has occurred because the wrong staff are on this. Externally
Point of order, I don't think that is appropriate to say about our staff and make a statement that nothing has been done. Linda has a question.
Linda, sorry.
I do not like any reflections like that on staff whatsoever.
Thank you. All those against? Councillor Summers.
5. Real lives, silenced voices. The cost of suppressing free speech isn't theoretical. It's personal, it's human. Let's consider just a few examples. Kuma water tank explosion. Sonia Woolley, silenced, her property still contaminated, now before the Supreme Court.
Sonia would love to get on with her life. She's contacted council, and people council has asked her to contact, over 150 times. The current general manager in December promised the councillors that he would get this matter resolved, and 4 months later he just keeps telling everybody the same thing. It's in the hands of council's insurers. Well, it's been in the hands of council's insurers for going on 6 years. How long have we got to wait?
Kylie Keenan, 5 years, no compensation, no answers, still unresolved.
But we didn't have anybody come. We had somebody come up to us, one of those yellow completed work forms, slapped one of them in our faces, and off they went. That was as far as it went.
So no inspection?
Nope.
No follow-up?
Nope.
No inquiries as to how you were or
Nope.
if anything got damaged?
Nope, nothing.
And even 5 years on, there's been no follow-up with you?
No. The only person that has followed up with me out of council is Andrew. He's Andrew Thaler. He's the only person that has actively come to me and said, have you been finalised? Has your claim been finalised?
That sounds incredible. Because council themselves have said that there's only one outstanding claim. Are you that outstanding claim?
Oh, definitely not. If there's only one outstanding claim, what number does that make me? 0. I'm nothing. I mean nothing to council.
And there are others. Mikalago Quarry. A family was threatened, harassed, and then ignored. Still, no official recognition, no apology from the very council that licensed and regulated the site. Threatened by the very local councillor that was meant to represent and help them. And the councillor that brought this issue to light, suspended for calling out a liar.
Did Councillor Higgins tell your wife that I was responsible for the delays to the investigation?
I wouldn't answer that question.
I will move a motion against
We're
you.
in public forum.
Okay, well, I have the proof of that comment.
Excuse another.
I'm allowed to ask a question. If we're not in the rigidity of the meeting, Mayor, I'm allowed to ask a question. Mr. Badrock can answer it. I have a copy of the message from Tanya Higgins. Did Tanya Higgins suggest to you or your wife altogether that I was responsible for the delay in the investigation?
I want to be clear that I do not see this issue as a political issue. I'll answer your question, Councillor Thaler. I do not see this as a political issue. I see this as a significant health issue that has not been addressed. And I don't want those kind of things to distract from what I'm doing here. But yes, she did.
Thank you.
Where along road, a family had their land taken from them and were denied proper procedure. That's why Councillor Ruben Rose's motion for full and accurate minutes was so important. It was about transparency, about accountability, about stopping this from happening again. But the gang voted it down. So ask yourself, if there's nothing to hide, why are they so afraid of the record?
Can I just confirm?
Sorry, can I just ask, you mentioned that there's some inaccurate information in one of the documents?
In a few of them, yes.
Any examples you can give us?
I can give you one right now. This one here is the minutes of a meeting dated 21 November 19. All the councillors who were at that meeting are present. There is apologies for 2. Excuse me. The resolution 400-19 is there saying 2 were not at that meeting. In the minutes, which was obtained under the GIPA application, shows that all members voted on this motion.
Okay, so the record of voting may have been incorrect.
But this is what they used to compulsorily acquire land. This document went to the Minister for Local Government, etc., and that's what council based their application on. This is not a true and accurate document.
Thank you.
6. Unreasonable complainant conduct. When winning in court isn't enough. One local Kuma family won a Supreme Court case against the council over a subdivision issue.
On the first occasion, the Andersons' submission to council was not included in the papers before us. At that time, I asked, what was in that submission and why it hadn't been included, and I was advised that it didn't include anything of relevance to the matter. We were advised that council had received verbal legal advice that told us everything was okay. Well, colleagues, it turns out everything wasn't okay. We got this wrong. This motion is designed for us to look in the mirror and to be humble. we should acknowledge the decision of the court. We should note that decision aligns with the submission from the Andersons and indeed the presentation kindly given to us by Candace Anderson, and to apologise to them for them having to go to all of this trouble to correct our understanding of the situation. And we should commit to having a good look at our procedures so we don't get into this situation again.
You've got to give credit to the Andersons for pursuing that, but gee, it's very disappointing that we're paying professional people and getting advice like this is not good.
The recent judgment, I suppose, is clear. The court found that 2 development consents issued by the council were void and of no effect. So it's certainly appropriate the council now formally acknowledge the outcome. Whatever our views at the time, the court has determined that since the decisions were made, they were legally incorrect. So I think that is a pretty serious issue, and I'm proposing to bring another motion at some stage to the council around verbal advice, because we've heard verbal advice is received about a range of matters, but it's very clear that verbal advice isn't worth the paper it's written on. So we've got an issue there, I think, to deal with. No. But in terms of where we are now, it's incumbent upon us, I think, to offer an apology, and that's what the motion seeks to do. And I noticed that under Section 8A to E of the Local Government Act, it says council decision making should be transparent, and decision makers are to be accountable for decisions and omissions. So I think what Councillor Williamson has proposed is a very fair and reasonable story. We're being accountable for decisions and omissions. Council did make a legal error. Residents identified the issue and raised it with supporting documentation, and their concerns weren't adequately heeded. And so they were left with no choice but to seek the intervention of the court. So apology in this sense is not a sign of weakness, nor is it an admission of wrongdoing. Really, it's just a sign of integrity, a recognition that we're willing to learn from our mistakes and that we value the role residents play in holding us accountable. It's healthy democracy, in fact.
I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Councillor Rose, Councillor Rooney, Councillor Williamson. All those against? Councillor Summers, Councillor Higgins, Councillor Stewart, Councillor Elliott, Councillor Davis, Councillor Hopkins, Councillor Hannah. Lost.
Instead of resolving the matter, council doubled down, banning the landowner from asking questions or making contact with the council through normal channels. Now, as a result, another Supreme Court action is underway, and you, the ratepayer, are footing the legal bill for a council too proud to admit wrongdoing.
It seems logical to me that we can avoid all the effort and challenge around this by simply removing the code of conduct that has been applied against the individual who has brought the matter before the court. If the code of conduct is removed, there's no matter to go before the court.
Thank you. There's no against, so there's no debate. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Councillor Rose and Councillor Williamson. All those against? Councillor Summers, Councillor Higgins, Councillor Stewart, Councillor Elliott, Councillor Rooney, Councillor Davis, Councillor Hopkins, Councillor Hannah. Thank you. Motion's lost.
7 Cooma Council scuffle, crimes without consequences, video evidence, eyewitnesses, and an alleged assault involving Labour councillors. What happened? Nothing. Video footage and eyewitness testimony clearly shows that the Labour ladies lied and went straight to their media friends.
And he would have been out the door if Councillor Thaler never got him. That's for certain. There's no way I would have caught him.
Were any other councillors attempting to assist you during this time?
No. There were some appeared to be assisting Mick Pollard.
I wanted to ask that next. Did any of the other councillors appear to be assisting Mr. Pollard?
Linda Summers is assisting Mick Pollard, I guess, and if there's an offence being committed, maybe she's aiding in abetting an offence. She was certainly on his side. I don't know what she was doing. I don't think she was doing much to contribute or to aid. As I said, she popped out. She had a big smile. She lifted up her arms and said, "I'm here, ready. I'm ready." And it just had a similarity to some Jack in the Box. It just pops out and, okay, what do I do now? There was people involved that probably didn't need to be involved.
Linda Summers goes on and says she stepped in to keep things calm.
I'm sorry, but Linda would contribute. I'm sorry, I don't think to keep anything calm. No, I don't think she had any significant impact
on
whatsoever. But she would have liked to sure that she'd be involved. And obviously, if you can got the reporter on speed dial, you can tell him anything you want.
She goes on to say, "My instincts kicked in. That diffused the situation in the moment."
Oh God, no. A little bit hard to try and apprehend someone and then say someone's pushed unprovoked. How do you say it's unprovoked? He was out the door with my phone. So if he didn't take my phone, anything past that would not have occurred.
There's also a second element that isn't really getting much attention, and that's Councillor Summers' claims that she diffused the situation. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, no. Look, I was just a few meters away from the whole thing and videoed the whole thing from behind, so I didn't see her facial expressions or her fisticuffs, but her hands weren't anywhere. They must have been up in front of her chest because I didn't see them. It was the most bizarre thing I've really seen. It's like, and it wasn't until I re-looked at the video that I'd taken that I saw it. I thought, what on earth is going on? She's come in, David Rawlings was keeping the two guys apart. She came in behind, almost like tapped him on the back and moved in. Like as if this older woman is going to have a better chance of fixing this situation than another man. And Mick Pollard's aggressive, leaning in, punchy, angry nature just stopped. And she was doing her fisticuff thing to Andrew. She should have been facing Mick Pollard. He was the aggressor, but she was treating Andrew like the aggressor. It was so bizarre. It was like this weird act.
So if my understanding is correct, she didn't help stop the thievery of the phone.
No, it was already done. He'd already got his phone back, and it seemed like she was dramatising it looked like she was dramatising to make a story that didn't exist. It certainly didn't look like it was real. And it was hilarious the way she came in. It could not have been serious. Could not have been serious. No woman would go in and stand in between two, strong-bellied blokes like that. Not at her age and her fitness level. Absolutely not.
Zero accountability, zero action taken against them. No action, no inquiry, no consequences. Just another example of the rules not applying when it's their own.
I'd like to thank all of those who have reached out over the last few days. Your many kind words are appreciated and were very timely. As has been reported by Mick Newman at the Monaro Zone Facebook page, an ugly incident did occur at the council meeting on Thursday, 3 July. I was made to feel very uncomfortable by two other councillors during a verbal tirade they chose to initiate away from the public's hearing and out of view of the cameras in the extremely small team room next to the council chamber. I can't say much as this is being investigated by multiple authorities. However, I can verify that the incident did occur, that I felt fearful, and I felt I was being ridiculed, including about my height or lack of it. Sadly, this is not the first incident where I've had cause to be concerned for the welfare of others and myself related to the certain councillors' behaviour. I was perhaps not as gentlemanly in my response at the time as I would have hoped to have been due to my shock about the awful situation. Mick Newman was in the public gallery and saw me as I returned to the chamber moments after the incident. He was first to offer support and told me I looked shocked. Most of the rest of the council meeting is a blur. I likely draw official criticism for making this post, but it is an important matter that the community should be aware of. So I'll wear any criticism as a badge. Bullying is never okay. It can quickly lead to depression and suicide for those being targeted. If leaders in an organisation bully each other, that sets a dangerous standard for the rest of their organisations to follow. Everyone should have a safe workplace, free from bullying and bullies. So I'm not going to let this stand. I'll once again thank you for your messages, calls or responses to Mick's post alerting the community about the incident. A few words spoken with kindness has more power than we can know. Thank you.
Meanwhile, residents who challenge that silence are smeared, mocked, or in the case of Monaro Zone, digitally erased. 8. Chris Chan, contributor on the Monaro Zone, deplatformed. This week, Chris Chan, a Jindabyne resident and a frequent contributor on the Monaro Zone Facebook page, a grassroots platform of concerned locals, was wiped. Months of reporting, community interviews, and factual scrutiny suddenly vanished. The final post before the takedown? A simple comment about 3 homes near Mullen Place possibly having council connections. No profanity, no threats, just a reasonable question. And yet, poof, gone. 9. This is bigger than politics. This isn't just about Labour, or Liberals, or independents. This is about whether you, as a resident of the Monaro, are allowed to speak freely, ask questions, and participate meaningfully in how your region is governed. The Hannah Gang councillors might want to lock down discourse, but they don't own the truth, and they sure as hell don't own your voice. 10. What can you do? Support independent media. When voices like Monaro Zone get silenced, speak louder. Attend council meetings, ask questions, demand answers. Vote for transparency. Don't reward candidates who mock or block public scrutiny. Challenge trolls. Whether they're local or government-backed, don't let them intimidate you. Because if they can silence one farmer with a smartphone, they will try to silence you too. We end with a reminder. The Monaro region is worth fighting for. Not just the land, but the spirit of the people who call it home. Stand up, speak out, and never let your voice be frozen. Keep looking, keep knocking, keep asking. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
We've seen the rivers rise, we've watched the mountains burn. Through the darkest nights, we've stood, we've learned. They tried to break us down, but we're still here. With hearts of steel, we've made it clear. Peter fights for those without a say. Rolling Kylie, Doug won't walk away. They face the heat, they've stood their ground. Now the tide is turning, hear the sound. It's our home, it's our fight. We stand as one, we'll make it right. We face the flood, the fire, the strain. Independence rise, we'll break their chain. Monaro strong, we won't be swayed. Truth and justice never fade. They make the rules, then twist them back. doors shut, keep us off track. But we've got voices, we've got the will. We stand for the people, they never will. It's our home, it's our fight. We stand as one, we'll make it right. We face the flood, the fire, the strain. Independence rise, we'll break their chain. A Monaro strong, we won't be swayed. Truth and justice never fade. No backroom deals, no ties of gold. The truth's worth more than what's been sold. With every voice, with every stand, we take our power back hand in hand in hand. It's our home, it's our fight. We stand as one, we'll make it right. We face the flood, the fire, the strain. Independence rise, we'll break their chain. Monaro strong, we won't be swayed. Truth and justice never fade. Monaro strong, we'll light the way. The time for change, it starts today.